Shalom to the sons and daughters of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Hate evil and love the good.
Holy lineage, stuck on this earthly pilgrimage, lost a will to live. The kingdom's at hand, flames of biz because of mental explosion, brain corrosion, collecting heads and Romans, awaken the
That he's going to put prophecy in Ezra's mouth. And it said,
the chosen, while the universe stands frozen, the prophecies start unfolding, exploding. While the whole world sleeps, the shepherds are lost, sheep creep deep to the golden gates. It's Esau, the Lord hates them, crimes of thievery, to even murder and rape. We close his rapes, watch them like grapes, while these fakes that perpetrate. My people's there's no equal in this. We do the Deuteronomy 7 and 6. I know it's hard like bricks, but don't trip, we got the kingdom coming. No more slumming and bumming, the Lord's coming. Busting through, reach St. John 4 and 22, and guess who? The Lord's got a sword for. Settle the score. All you heathens hit the floor. See these 12 stars, defenders of the law. Tiger wasn't up to par for this. Scandalous, murderous, evangelists who's girded up, ready to die for the words of the script. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these sons and tell them where we from. Israel, you heard this, tuck tail, the bell, your rhymes is trail. You stepped in the zone when we excel. We too wise to be dumb. The hell with ice, we want the kingdom. Let's get out these
like you said, everybody got an opinion, right? But not according to wisdom and understanding.
I pop my collar like small.
Yeah, you got two choices, man. Take the blue or the red pill. Take the blue pill, stay your ass in the world and keep on eating microwave dinner. You wanna take the red pill? You can come out and wine and dine with me. It's a mouth, man, let's do it. I got a Kevlar mind with Teflon rhymes, antidote to venomous minds that decline the truth. Trapped in a box, thoughts locked, programmed to be spooked. I'm on some lynch mob shit, about the devil programmed to shoot. And got some steel at the tip of my boots just to regulate. We can get it all night and morning, just name the date. And don't hesitate, being a gangster ain't no good if your thoughts is featherweight. I don't care who got the best team, I'm here to drop the word and keep it moving like jet streams. The luster green got my niggas moving like dope fiends. You gotta see the picture, but ain't made for flat screens. Lemur Park and Skid Row was where he's last seen. Survivalist with holy water filled in his canteen. The boogeyman's here to put an end to American dreams. I'm out of sight of extraterrestrial beings. Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill, shook the snakes and the demons, keep it moving like a tracks on a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Yo, heavyweight Solomon jewels, I use knowledge to rule. Rejecting wisdom is the acts of a fool. Christ is king, born to rule, let's take him to school. Open up the sword, baby, let it do what it do. Simple as that, Van Helsing the rap. I swing lefty when I'm holding a bat, righty when I'm holding a cat, man. On the highway to heaven, dipping out in the fast lane. I let my hair grow, OD'd on Rogaine. Spit the hot shit, taking shots of propane. SOJ created our own lane. I'm pacing for a queen, got no time for a dumb dame. Nowadays to be heard, I gotta be rude and profane. Dumb down my knowledge, make me look like I'm some lame. It's a trip of niggas with chump change, be so vain. It's the principle of truth, IQAhmath his first name. Come on. Everything the Most High does, I hold it sacred. No stopping the sons of Jacob, you still plugged in the matrix. Me, I took the red pill, shook the snakes and the demons, keep it moving like the tracks on a treadmill. When I say I'm a Jew, I'm dead real. It's hard hats and flashlights on the hunt for Israel. We in the last days to see the killer be killed, but niggas is caught up with talking trucks and big wheels. Yeah, okay, so understand what I'm putting out there. Red pillars only, okay? You wanna take the blue pill, microwave, popcorn your ass to death, go ahead. You know, I ain't got time for that, man. I'm too focused for that. The soldiers that I roll with is too focused for that. So if you wanna get down, get your mind right, come and holler at me, you know? Because when your Hawashah comes back, it's a rap like a gypsy mummy. A lot of these heathens wanna trip and act a fool. I thug it out for the Lord, and I don't need no tattoos. We drop bombs with the Bible while you stand there baffled, looking like you seen a ghost. I'm with the Lord of hosts. Still keep a hood, crack the yak, and we can take a toast. Cheers.
All right. All praise, honor, glory to the Most High, Yahweh. This is your brother IQAhmath. IQAhmath first name. IQ is all the same. If you've been around, you've been picking up what I've been putting down. If you have not, don't get too close because you might get shot. Welcome to another episode. DSTM, don't shoot the messenger. Shabbat shalom to my family that's out there, man, tapping in slowly but surely, man. As you come on in, make sure you wipe your feet and you show some honor and respect for the house, all right? work hard on this building. We over here trying to labor, and we over here trying to cook up some good things for our people to be able to digest and eat. And all we ask in return is that you wipe your feet, man. Like the video, share the video. Um, Trust me, our people are going to regret the day that they don't have the men of the Lord to help lead, guide, direct them, and help discern the times that we're in right now. Things are going from bad to worse, y'all. Bad to worse. And yes, the proverbial all hell is breaking loose quote is applicable right now. Shabbat shalom to the families in the house, man. Ashar in the house, Shalak, Uziel, Kohath, Hashemai, and everyone else that's going to be joining us as they're getting notified slowly but surely. If you're getting notified, YouTube is double down. Sent me another damn email talking about how much they're restricting our channel from advanced settings and some most BS or whatever, because they say that either we don't have a good history with YouTube and violating community guidelines, which is funny because we haven't gotten a strike on this channel in at least 2 years. A strike on this channel has not happened in at least 2 years, and they still talking about we don't have a good reputation with YouTube. Let alone they said the other way for them to give us further access to the channel is to be identified. So, they sent one back in April. They doubling back, saying it again now. So, to no surprise, the shadow ban is real. And, more than likely, people are being unsubscribed, notifications getting turned off. And, in this rat race of the internet, people lose contact, focus, all the time. There's so much information, so many people online teaching and prophesying and doing things that you can just get lost in the sauce, man. So make sure my diehards, man, y'all always make sure. But this is for those who don't recognize that maybe your notifications might be off, man. Maybe you got unsubscribed, who knows? But nonetheless, man, this is for he that hath an ear to hear, let him hear. All right. No more introductions needed, man. We're gonna get right into it because there's so much we got to discuss. And Lord willing, I'm gonna try to make sure that I'm thorough and cover everything necessary tonight. But I need y'all to lock in with me tonight, man, because this is gonna be a good one. All right. Let's start off here. Second Ezra. We're going to read chapter 8, and we'll read verse 1. It says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. World to come is only for a few. Now, in classic fashion, right, we should already know in 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, come on now, let's go. And verse 9, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That means that only a few from these people, Jacob, the Jacobites, the descendants of Jacob, the Israelites, that's who this next world is going to be made for. And the Lord said that a few of us is going to make it, man. The Lord said, man, the righteous shall scarcely be saved. So as we're seeing and witnessing and understanding what's going on the earth right now, it's nothing to play with. It's not play. This is why we labor. This is why, because I don't know about you, but I'm trying to ensure my crown and get us in a seat wherever the Lord places me in mine. That's important because there's only a few places left. Hold on. There's another scripture. I think it's in 2 Peter. No, 1 Peter. 1 Peter 1, right? And verse 4. And I brought this out a couple of weeks ago, but it's an interesting analogy because when you look at this particular scripture, matter of fact, let's read the chapter. We're going to start at verse 1. It says, Peter, an apostle of Yahushua, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Now, when we look at the scattered and these particular strangers, when you look into the Greek, it acknowledges that these are the 12 tribes that's been scattered among the Gentiles. All right. So, Peter, an apostle of Hamashiach Yahushua, is speaking to the scattered or the tribes of Israel of the diaspora, right, with this particular message: elect according to the foreknowledge of the power, the Father, through the sanctification of the Spirit. So these same strangers, quote unquote, have been classified as the elect. Now, Isaiah, the 45th chapter, tells us that the children of Israel are the elect. So there's no doubt about it. Now, in the first two verses, it's been stamped that this is talking about the children of Israel and those of the diaspora. Elect according to the foreknowledge of the power, God the Father, through sanctification of the Spirit, unto obedience and sprinkling of the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. Grace unto you and peace be multiplied. Grace is being given unto who? The children of Israel. We have that unwarranted favor that allows us the chance to repent, to change and cleanse our ways, to be reconciled with our Father through the blood of our big brother Hamashiach Yahushua. Grace has been given unto us and peace be multiplied. You know, we've been at war physically through these curses. We're at war in the spirit. We're at war with ourselves. This is the time when we embrace the peace that's been given unto us. Isaiah 40 tells us that we speak comfortably to our people and let her know her warfare is accomplished. Need we get that? Okay, I'm about to open up another one, man. We just gonna move in the spirit. Move in the spirit. Let me get that one real quick too. It says peace be multiplied. Well, who needs the peace? Huh? Isaiah 40, comfort ye, my people, saith your power. Speak ye comfortably to who? Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished. This is why we need that peace. We've been going to war. That her iniquity is pardoned, for she hath received of Yahweh's hand double for all her sins. Okay. Let's go back to Peter. So, grace be unto us and peace be multiplied. Verse 3, blessed be the power and the Father of our Lord, Hamashiach Yahushua, which according to his abundant mercy hath begotten us again unto a lively hope by the resurrection of Yahushua Hamashiach from the dead. So now we've been given a lively hope. You know, Ezekiel 30 talks about, 37 speaks about the dry bones. And can these bones live? And we be getting the sinew and the bones, you know, start to come alive again. And become a great and exceeding army in the eyes of the Most High, right? All about our people. That's it. Lively hope by the resurrection of Yahushua Mashiach from the dead. Watch this. To an inheritance incorruptible and undefiled. So our kingdom and the inheritance that comes along with it, the crowns, it's incorruptible, undefiled. And what you say? And fadeth not away. Reserved in heaven for you. Reserved. This reservations are made. You've got the opportunity. We've got the opportunity to have a reservation in the most desired place around. Can you imagine? Just think about whatever the greatest restaurants are, the five-star Michelin star restaurants and all of that got 2-month-long waiting lists, and you know you just trying to say, hey, I'm going to get in. I mean, not that any of us are, you know, in those particular positions. You know, those things probably cost who knows what to get in, but those things exist. You know, the new movies is coming out, the new Spider-Mans, whatever. People are reserving their seats in advance because they want to be there. But everybody can't get it. You're sleeping, you wait too long, you're not prepared, you're thinking you can just pop up, no reservation, you get turned away at the door. You understand? That's how it works with the heavens. That's how it works with our kingdom. It says that the elect, who's been blessed by the power of our Father, of our Lord, of Mashiach Yahushua, that peace and grace has been multiplied unto us. Our warfares are accomplished. And now he's acknowledging that reservations quite possibly could be made in your name or have been made in your name and my name. If we're of the elect, if we're of the chosen, if we're of the ones who's been preserved from said destructions and things that's going on the earth, and our sins have been bound up and forgiven, reservations is waiting. You made it in. I made it in. That's what we pray for. That's what we labor for. Right? Now let's go back over to 2nd Ezra chapter 8 again. Verse 1, it says, and he answered me, saying, the Most High have made this world for many, but the world to come for few. Yeah, the reservations are only for a few. It's not an open door. Everybody can come on in. You don't, listen, if you don't have a reservation, you cannot get in. Think it on those terms. And the equivalent of the bouncers and the doorman that you see at these restaurants and in these clubs and all that is nothing compared to the Holy Host, who's going to turn you away or me away from the door and say, get that. No, your name is not on the list. Your name's not in the book. That's a cold thing. Verse 2. I will tell thee a similitude. So remember in Hosea 12 and 10, scriptures say that the Most High speaks to the prophets through visions and similitudes and things of that nature. Right? So now here the angel is expounding to Ezra wisdom and understanding regarding this world that's going to come for only a few. Now he's making a similitude. He's making an analogy. He says, I will tell thee a similitude, Ezra, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made, but little dust that gold cometh of. So in other words, he's saying, imagine when you have the balance of scales of the world that was made for many and the world that's for few, how precious the gold is. There's a whole movement called the gold rush days back in the 1800s. People were leaving from down south, fleeing to come over here to the West Coast, to go to the Rocky Mountains and go hunt for gold. And they out there shaking and sifting and getting little specks and little bit of dust of gold. If you think about, the value of gold now, the gold is the most valued precious metal right now. And the Lord said there's only a little bit of it in the earth when you think about it in the grand scheme, compared to the mold, meaning like the clay that earthen vessels are made of. You can get clay all over the place. The whole earth full of clay. Molded and made. There's no shortage of pots and plates and bowls and sculptures and all kind of stuff. Like you can get those things from the earth like nothing. There's plenty of that. But the preciousness that comes from the gut, he said the little dust that gold cometh up, he said that it's only a few. It's only a little bit like that. Even so is the course of this present world. So when we see, like even when Yahushua told us in Matthew the 7th chapter, broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, narrow is the way that leadeth to life, and few there be that find it. Let's get that real quick. Matthew 7. Enter ye in at the straight gate. This is the 13th verse. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. That's why the Lord said, back in 2nd Ezra 8, the Most High made this world for many, but the world to come for few. So everybody and anybody, the earth's been given into the hand of the wicked. They're out here living it up, and they're expanding, thinking that they're expanding their kingdoms, their rulership, their wickedness, their unrighteousness, all throughout the earth. People are basking themselves in the glory of the nations. The Lord said, yeah, they can have all of that. But the real world that comes after this, is only for a few, a select and elect. That's why Christ told us, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way. That's that world that's made for many, that leadeth to destruction, and they're going to die in their iniquity. They're going to die in their folly and foolishness. That leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Continuing on. I'm going to read verse 2 one more time. I will tell thee a similitude, Ezra, as when thou askest the earth, it shall say unto thee that it giveth much mold, whereof earthen vessels are made. But little dust that gold cometh of, even so is the course of this present world. Verse 3, there be many created, but few shall be saved. So that gives you a greater insight too, because when, let's say, a Christian or, a Catholic or whomever, somebody of one of these denominational faiths that's created by man, they're all going to say, hey, we're all of Adam. We're all the same. We're all brothers and sisters in Christ. No, the Lord said that, listen, there may be many created. And even if that was the argument, right? Let's get to, let me get one more a second. Even if that was the argument, right? The Lord said, yeah, you know what? Even though many's created, I don't care about everybody. Man's wisdom says we're all the same. We're all people. The Lord said, no, I'm only concerned with an elected few. Okay. 2 Ezra 6:54 says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. Oh yeah, the world made for many. Right, but what? And the people also whom thou hast chosen. Oh, so there is an elect. There is a chosen. There is a people that the Lord said, no, I like them over everybody else. Regardless of how populated the world is, over 8 billion people in the world right now, the Lord said, I only care about my chosen. Oh, IQ, you doing too much. That isn't what that said. Oh, really? Okay, hold on. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. And as for the other people, which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and hast likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So the last drop, that's in that bottle, that cup, you're not sitting there trying to shake it to make sure you get the last little bit, licking the cup. You toss it out. Now look at this, verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. So when we're looking back at 2 Ezra, the 8th chapter, we see the dynamic that's being played out here just from chapter 6. So back to 2 Ezra 8:3, it says, there be many created, but few shall be saved. So if there was one contingency that says, hey, well, we're all Abraham's seed, we're all, no. You can talk about how many people are created. Oh, we all come from Adam. We all got the same blood. Doesn't matter. The Lord made a separation. There's a holy seed that the Lord designated. And that's in Nehemiah, the 9th chapter, where he acknowledges the seed of Israel as a holy, a separated, set apart seed, different from everybody else. Verse 4, so answered I and said, swallow then down, O my soul, understand and devour wisdom. Verse 5, for thou hast agreed to give ear and art willing to prophesy, for thou hast no longer space than only to live. So now the angel told him, your job is to prophesy, and that's your life from here on out. He's receiving and got the wisdom. You see here it says, swallow then down, O my soul, understanding and devour wisdom. That's what he was consumed with. That's what nourished him. And with that being said, the angel said, now you agreed to give your ear and you're willing to prophesy. But now you no longer got space than only to live. That's your life now. That's part of being a servant. That's part of what Ezra undertook. Right? Gotta be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. Jeremiah 18. Let's read verse 7. It says, "At what instance I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom to pluck it up and to pull down and to destroy." So this is why we're seeing everything that's going on in the earth right now. The Lord is speaking concerning these particular nations, man. You see what's happening with Russia, Ukraine. You see what's going on between Israel, America, Iran, Yemen, Saudi Arabia. You see what's going on with NATO, the EU. All of these particular nations that we're seeing now are all in the quandrum of prophetic judgment. Everything is being pushed around, moved around, so that ultimate judgment can come down. So the Lord said, now what's going on is he's concerning a nation and concerning kingdoms to pluck it up, pull down, and to destroy it. So nations now are being considered for plucking up, pulling down, and destruction. So when you're seeing Spain being overran by 60,000 migrants breaking down the doors of the borders into a town that only had maybe like 85,000 people, and all hell is breaking loose over there, let alone part of the country is still burning on fire. The Most High is pulling down and destroying particular nations, man. And like we said last week, Spain being one of the principal colonizers and victimizers of the children of Israel. With the conquistadors, Hernan Cortez, Christopher Columbus, Diego Paredes, all of these cats, man. Ponce de Leon, all of them. Let alone still wreaking havoc with the Catholic Church, etc. Judgment is befalling these people, man. Portugal burning up from their involvement with the Inquisition, their involvement with the slave trade, colonizing and destroying land. I mean, come on. But the Lord is fair. Look at this, verse 8. If that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of the evil that I thought to do unto them. Well, look, the Lord said, I'll give them a fair shot. If they repent, follow after my word. Everybody got the Bible. Everybody has opportunity to listen to and adhere to the words of the Lord. All the nations do. And in particular, America. They say in God we trust. They say that this place was founded on quote unquote Judeo-Christian values, which is nothing could be further from the truth. Well, you got a president that says, I'll make my own Bible. You got the Trump Bibles going on. He said, can't nobody tell him anything. The only person that can stop him is himself. So do you think he's going to repent of the evil that they've done? Do you think any of these nations that have done evil to the children of Israel, blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics historically, do you think any of them that have gone and disannulled the laws and the statutes of the Bible? I played a video, it was last year sometime, and they were talking about the commandments, I believe, being instituted in the schools in Texas. It was either Texas or Oklahoma. And they had the city council meeting, right? And the little white woman, man, was like the head of the board of education or something like that. And she was getting grilled by a Democrat legislator or whatever. And they were talking about, and the dude, the Democrat was against, he's a quote unquote liberal. He don't want religion being, imposed on the kids and all of that, right? So he asked the the little right wing Edomite female who was pro putting the Bible into schools, and he was like, well, let me ask you this: the Ten Commandments says we're supposed to honor the Sabbath, right? And she was like, yeah, that's right. And he was like, well, do you work on the Sabbath? And she was like, well, you know, if the cause be, I mean, we're under great, I mean, but that just lets you know. And I don't know if y'all remember seeing that video. It had to have been at least a year. Time's moving so fast, it could have been 2 years ago. But the fact of the matter is that these particular people who was in legislation, they know our laws, and they still go against it. I wish I could remember that video because it was good. Kohai, if you remember that, I wish I could find that video because that was a good one, man. That dude cut her talking about the Ten Commandments and talking about the Sabbath, and he was like, "Do you keep it holy?" And is this it? I think this is it. I don't want to go off track too much because that might not be it. It looks like her though. It looked like her.
Thank you, Representative Noble.
Yeah, this is it.
What is the fourth commandment?
Can y'all hear it? Let me know. 7 in the chat if y'all can hear it. I want to make sure because he's gonna cut her.
Representative Noble, what is the fourth commandment?
Are you referring to my to the way it's written in the bill?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Now again, this you know, we just moving in the spirit. Now let's go back. In light of Jeremiah 18 and verse 8, if that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of the evil that I thought to do unto them. All right. So let's go back and let's find out. These are legislative representatives, right, for the city of Texas regarding putting the Ten Commandments in the Bible. I mean, in the schools in Texas. Now, mind you, she's pro putting the Ten Commandments in the school. This guy isn't.
What is the fourth commandment?
Are you referring to my to the way it's written in the bill?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Remember the Sabbath.
Keep the Sabbath.
It's being here on Saturday.
It's about us being here on Saturday. Is that ironic?
Whoops. Cut 2 ways. Okay, first of all, she's already stuttering and smiling. And then she says, is it about us being here on Saturday? That lets you know that these devils know when the true Sabbath is. But they'll let them parade around on Sundays all day. Meanwhile, they know the truth. As long as you keep leading the sheep to slaughter, it doesn't matter. That's why she said, oh, you talking about us being here on Saturday? Uh-oh. Busted.
Remember the Sabbath.
Keep the Sabbath.
It's being here on Saturday.
It's about us being here on Saturday. Is that ironic or what?
So what does it mean to keep the Sabbath holy?
Well, I think it's, you want to get into theology here? I'd love to, if you'd like to. I think it's really important that we take a day of rest. I think God, who founded the world, didn't need rest, and yet he took a day of rest after he did creation. And I think he was a good example to us to take a day of rest. And that is enshrined in our rules, in our Constitution, where it says accepting Sunday in our very early documents as a nation.
And so part of keeping the Sabbath holy is not working on the Sabbath?
That is Yeah.
And what is
day of rest.
the Ten Commandments?
Now, mind you, he's cutting the hell out of her. And they know the truth, but they will not repent of their evils, man. They will still go bypass that to institute man's laws, to bypass the fact that, when a brother or sister goes to their job and says, hey, I need to have my Sabbaths off because this is against my religious beliefs, me working on the Sabbath, I need this off based around the Constitution. They know all this. But when they give you hell at your job about, no, you can't have it off, we got too many people up. No, you had last week off. No, you can't have this one. You're talking new moon. You're talking Sabbath. Listen, you got too many damn days off. If this job ain't for you and you need more time off, then maybe you should consider finding another job. Don't want to stand behind nothing. Then when the Jake knees get weaky, all right, boss, Most High knows my heart. I'm moving on faith. I'm going to go ahead and work. F that, man. They know exactly what they're doing.
Commandments come from Judaism. What day is the Jewish Sabbath?
It is on Saturday.
And what day is it today?
It is Saturday. Here we are.
The Christian Sabbath is what day?
Sunday, in honor of the day that Jesus rose from the dead.
And we're scheduled to give this bill a final vote on what day of the week?
It's ironic, isn't it?
Would you be willing to postpone your bill so that we're not breaking the Ten Commandments by working on the Jewish or Christian Sabbath?
It's a big old joke. Big old joke. Point made, right? Point made. Y'all get it. This is why there's no space for repentance for America and the nations that refuse. Because they know the truth. They understand exactly what they're doing. And the Lord said, I'm fair. We're in the information age. There's no way that they can say, I didn't know, I didn't have access to. Yeah, maybe, some small tribe out in, Amazon or who knows where. And even them, they giving cell phones and access to Starlink. And they plugging them in. So, miss me with the all nations, huh? Yeah, our power is fair. He said, look, I'll give him a shot. Turn from the evil, I'll repent of the evil I'm gonna do to him. But no, they ain't gonna do it. They're not gonna do it. They understand enough. All right. Let's get on. Let's get it on. We got a lot to discuss. A lot of activity going on in the world. There you see it here. Iran war. Live updates. Middle East faces expanded wars. Iran and U.S. reignite attacks. Yeah, they've been going at it even more. And what's ironic about this is the fact that it is expanding. It's no longer just the U.S. and Iran trading strikes. Bombs is flying from Iran all the way over to Egypt, all the way to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain. All of these spots is getting hit up. It's a regional war that's going on right now in the region of the quote unquote Middle East, and it is expanding into Southeast Africa. It's expanding all the way down into Yemen. It's expanding all the way over into Lebanon. So, I mean, how long are we going to sit back and say that we're not in a, with multiple nations involved, we're inching closer to a global conflict? Egypt said it had come under attack from an unidentified drone. Earlier, Saudi Arabia acknowledged direct involvement in the war for the first time. Oh, Saudi Arabia. Remember last week when Agent Orange decided to upgrade them and said, you guys can have access to the uranium deposits. You can have access to nuclear power now. Remember that? And as soon as they get the head nod from boss, they get the head nod from Mr. Charlie, Saudi Arabia says, well, I'm jumping in. Prior to that, they was hands off. They was trying to tell Trump, defend us, fight for us. Hey, we got to keep the petrodollar and that oil pumping. Now it's like, oh, we've been given the authority to jump in. The Middle East teetered on the brink of an expanded war on Thursday after Iran and the United States reignited the hostilities and inflamed conflicts on other fronts that threaten to draw in more countries. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. More countries are threatening to be involved and are getting involved. For the first time since the conflict began in February, the authorities in Egypt said Thursday that the country had come under attack, blaming an explosion at one of its ports the previous day on an unidentified drone. Earlier, Saudi Arabia also acknowledged direct involvement in the war for the first time after conducting joint strikes with the U.S. forces on Iranian-backed militias in Iraq on Wednesday. What else? Iran launches missiles at a U.S. base for the first time since Trump paused the strike, so Iran now is striking back. And Agent Orange, man, he jumped out the window. He said, I don't want to misquote him, but he basically said after these particular strikes that the U.S. is going to beat Iran's MFing butt cheeks. You know what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can find that quote, man, because this dude went on a tirade on his little Truth Social, man. I'm trying to find that because I've seen it, and he said some real wild stuff. He said he was gonna kick the MNF and ass, something like that. He got explicit, like he was out on the streets, man, acting like a nigga. I'm gonna whip your mother. Hey. Yeah, I can't find it off the top, man. I should have clipped it when I saw it. But nonetheless, he's talking real reckless right now. Real reckless. If anybody's seen that quote from his little Truth Social post where he said that he was gonna they're getting ready to whoop Iran's beat their MF and A's, you know what I'm talking about. Let's continue on. I can't find out the top. We got too much other stuff to discuss to search for that. But he did say it. Continued on, it says 2 ships hit in an apparent drone strike at an Egyptian port. You know, what was it? About 3-4 weeks ago. Airport at Yemen got blew up. Now you got drone strikes taking out tankers at the Egyptian port. An explosion at a port on Egypt's Mediterranean coast set fire to 2 ships, including a U.S. gas storage tanker, according to maritime tracking firms. So they're looking at shutting down the Strait of Hormuz and the Red Sea. All ports they trying to shut down, and that ain't gonna do nothing but hurt America and the rest of the world, man. They don't want that to happen, man, because that's going to lead to complete economic collapse and strongholds over everybody. You notice gas is going back up like crazy because of these same factors. And guess what, man? The elites are sitting back, man, licking their lips and rubbing their hands, saying yes, more, because number one, they're gaining more access to a vulnerable world where they can easily force them into more control, because everybody's going to need access to funds, access to, technologies and things of that nature, right? So whoever holds those particular things is going to be holding all the cards. So the more war, more destruction goes on, the more economies collapse, the more hysteria goes on in the world. Now they rise up and say, hey, well, we've got a whole new beast system that's going to settle everything in when the smoke clears. Get your tickets now before it's too late. You know that old saying when they say in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king? That's look on the back of your dollar bill. In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So the one-eyed man is these elites, man. as they're allowing total chaos. They're funding these wars. They're instilling these particular puppet leaders. They're the ones out here running game with false narratives and agendas and assassination plots and all the stuff that's going on. Man, who stands to gain the most when the smoke clears? The one that's holding all the dang bread, the one who's controlling all the narratives in the earth, the one who controls the technology, the one who controls the social experiments that go on in society. The elder brought it out last week, and I brought it out a number of different times. The Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution. It's all in play. It is not getting better, it's getting worse. Continuing on. Pentagon reports more than 600 Iran war casualties in a quiet database update. Figures are source of dispute as U.S. Defense Department's days ago reduced record of troops killed and wounded. So they're covering up the casualties, they're covering up the injured, they're covering up a lot of things. We seen, I played a video CBS did, drone coverages of all of the destroyed U.S. bases over there in the Middle East. All and saying that they're so destroyed, there's no rebuilding them. They're out the game. Pentagon is broke. They don't have the weaponry to continue on with this thing. So you know what happens when scared animal man gets back in the corner, man. They're liable to do anything, especially with these midterms coming up. These midterm elections coming up in the next, 3 months? Republicans, they stand to lose everything. You know what's going to hold them back from not losing it all? Is a serious escalation of this war. That could be one reason that they utilize to maintain power in the office. We can't stop now. Listen, look what happened. There's a big explosion, whatever. A 9/11 type thing happens in America again. This is no time to be at odds over this election. We got to keep the foot on the gas. Look what they did. We heard about the supposed threat of unaliving the president. Another assassination attempt. And remember what he said. If they try it, wipe them off the map. And I said, hey, wouldn't it be ironic if, they're good buddies, small hat mutants over there, the GMO of the GMO persuasion, be the ones that carry it out and then say, oh, they did it. I told you those guys is evil. You got to do something now. Your fearless leader has been, taken out. Or at bare minimum, hospitalized, in a coma, unable to, utilize intelligent directive. He's in a coma. Changing of the guard, like, you dig what I'm saying? Like, that's another thing that they can do to stop these, this swinging of the power pendulum in these midterms. Third thing is you could have a complete economic collapse with the escalation of this war, the depleted oil reserves. Remember, Trump said, man, we're about four weeks away from Bedlam. It is almost dry. So let that be a reason. They got a number of tricks up their sleeve, man. What they call the black swan events, like that's what everybody and their mama who has an ounce of consciousness in them should be thinking about. Just in case anybody's not familiar, I know our particular audience, y'all are very insightful and on point. Some may not know. A black swan event is a rare and unpredictable occurrence that has a significant impact, often only recognized in hindsight. These events are characterized by their extreme rarity, severe consequences, that's key, and tendency for people to rationalize them after they happen. So in other words, rare and unpredictable occurrence. 9/11 would be a black swan event. A stock market crash because of a cyber attack. You understand what I'm saying? You see what's going on with this whole little they playing games with the cyclosporia outbreak. They say, oh, it's the iceberg lettuce in Taco Bell. Then they double back and say, oh, sorry, that was a false report. We don't know where it's coming from now. Back to square one. A threatening of the food supply, water supply. We're seeing, which we'll talk about later, cyber attacks on the water systems in Minnesota and 7 other states have had reported cyber attacks, threats on the water supply. You seen that they had the one in Alabama where they found it. What they say it was some sort of detonation device at the water supply. So there's a conscious effort that we're seeing being done when it comes down to quote unquote black swan events or unpredictable occurrence. You couldn't have foreseen it was going to happen. And then people try to rationalize and figure it out later. Why, what, when, and how did we let this get by? At a pivotal moment when the pendulum can swing from the red to the blue in a matter of a few months. We're getting ready to be in August tomorrow. You got August, September, October, November, 4 months. Anything can go down because these damn dogs is desperate. So we can see a greater escalation of this war, man. Somebody drops a bomb, a tactical nuke, something goes down, where it's like, look, we're locked in. We cannot afford to have any ruptures, any discord, any problems. It's all about America first. We got to stand behind the president. Look what happened to us. We got to stand. Forget the midterms. You leave it to Trump. He already said that. He said, I don't care about the midterms. And he knows damn well he cares about it. But why is he so nonchalant about it? Because he may have something up his sleeve, man. You can't trust these devils. Just like you can't trust them here. So we hear now they're lying about the casualty reports. What else are they lying about? Fighter jet scrambled as Russian missile explodes in Poland, sparking all-out war fears. This is the second time there's been a quote-unquote missile or an attack on Poland, which is a NATO-ran country. A suspected Russian missile has crashed in a field in Poland, with smoke seen rising from the Lublin region as NATO fighter jets were scrambled amid World War III fear. So NATO immediately scrambled out and said, oh, we almost had an attack on Poland. Remember a few years ago when that happened, and it was Ukraine that did it. I can't remember if it was Poland or if it was Romania. I think it was in Poland, though, where a missile went over there, a drone attack happened. And they immediately, Ukraine said, hey, it was them Ruskies, man, they did it. And then after the UN and everybody did an investigation, it was like, actually, this came from you. This has your handwriting all over it. Ukraine, what the hell are you doing? Oh, that was our fault. Mistake. So who knows what's going on with this? But all we know is that we see that the hairpin trigger is itchy. A damn missile crashed. It didn't explode, just crashed, and they're ready to scramble. They're ready to get World War III cracked. Right? NATO deployed fighter jets over Poland early on Thursday, following confirmation that at least one suspected Russian missile had entered its airspace before crashing in the field. These heathens, man, they're itching and scratching, man. They're nervous as hell. Psalms 2. Now it says, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? See, the heathen are out here raging, man. They thinking and imagining vain things, that their diplomacy, that their defense system, the Article 5, NATO, all that's going to save them. No, the Lord said all that is vain. And they're raging right now. They had each other's stories, man. Pakistan, India was just going on. They just had to call off call their own little peace treaty to kind of simmer things down. You've got civil wars going on in Africa, Haiti. You've got multiple insurrections going on in these European countries with these quote unquote migrant invasions. You see what's going on here in America, man. The racial tensions are starting to pick up a bit. White folks want their own town. Black folks are saying they want their own town. Like, get away from us. You stay over there. We staying over here. You got these skinhead and neo-Nazi groups, man, running fight clubs and practicing MMA and hitting the range and preparing for ultimate civil war, Armageddon race war. While the Jake is sitting back with a double cup and the goddamn blunt in his mouth, with a pot belly looking like a damn fool, talking about where the hoes at. You understand what I'm saying? So everything is on the table. Literally, all hell is breaking loose, and our people ain't seeing it. The heathen are out here raging. Continuing on, look, Saudi Arabia joins U.S. military strikes on Iranian proxy. Now, this is ironic too, because what is it, Second Ezra? We've talked about this before. These are all sequential events in no particular order, so to speak. But we're seeing all of these things going down. So, look here. 2 Ezra 15:28. Now it says Saudi Arabia. Let's read this one more time. Saudi Arabia joins U.S. military strikes on Iranian proxies. The rare joint operation in Iraq underscored the risk that the Iran conflict could expand and came after Iran fired missiles at a U.S. base in Jordan. So, that peace treaty that was between the Sunnis and the Shiites and the Iran and Saudi Arabia that China negotiated in 2021, that's out of here. That lets you know that there's no lasting power with negotiations with Moab. Moab thinks, oh, I could be like white man. I can go in there. I can negotiate. They'll listen to me. Hey, man, but look, when white Zaddy pops out and says, hey, Ishmael, I need your help. And get over here. Allahu Akbar my ass. Get over here and you help. You dig what I'm saying? And that's exactly what they did. They dropped that. Look, just so that y'all can be reminded. China treaty with Iran and Saudi Arabia 2021, I believe it was. You see that? How China emerged as peacemaker in the Saudi-Iran deal. March 10, 2021. The story behind China's role in the Iran-Saudi deal. So, yeah. Moab came and tried to play, peacemaker and thought they wasn't moving like Esau. That's over with. That lets you know that they ain't got necks and they not the world power. They're not the ones who they think they are. That was given to Esau. And again, he is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followed with, not Moab. They try to flex and say, yeah, I can get in, I can negotiate. They'll listen. Yes. For how long? That's over with. 2 Ezra 15, verse 28. Behold, an horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. Where are we talking about? Oh, the east? Okay. Where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So what we're seeing is you're seeing not only through the elements of warfare, is Saudi Arabia now being brought to the forefront, but also the caliphates that's being carried out with the spread of Islam from Al Qaeda, from all of these so-called terrorist militia groups, Saudi Arabian base. You seen what happened over there in Germany? Was it Germany? Or where they had that little pride parade, and the little Muslim cat man hopped in the whip and started mowing them down, and they ended up catching him. He said Allah made him do it. So many upon the earth are fearing and trembling because look what they just did over there in Italy. All the migrants from Morocco, man, majority of them is all Muslims. And they ran through there, 60,000 of them. Breaking down gates, coming up out the water like damn zombies. I mean, look, this is what the scriptures are talking about. Also the Carmanians is Iran. Raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come. So they're going to exercise their strength, their power. The drone armies, their relationships with the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They're in league with them, along with Pakistan. These other nations is all part of the BRICS economy. They're rising to the occasion. They're rising up with great power, standing toe to toe with the great harlot, the daughter of Babylon, not backing down. And by proxy, America's saying, Saudi, y'all got beef anyway. Go over there and handle my light work. While I'm over here trying to, parlay for a damn a budget increase. Panhandling to Congress saying, I need more money for the war. We need more weapons. Maybe we can stall a little bit. Send some of the, the wild men and the rabid dogs out there to go fight for us. The jackals of the Middle East. All right. It says, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be trouble bled, and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. So we're going to see an increase between these particular nations fighting proxy wars for America. Like I said, America is giving. Why are these dragons going to have the upper hand? Because they just gave the Saudis the rights to depleted uranium and access to nuclear power. Right? What's their nature? The wild men of Arabia. What is it saying? Ishmael is a wild man in Genesis. That's in Genesis. I think it's, there it goes, 16. What's his nature? Genesis 16:12. And he will be a wild man. Who's it talking about? It's talking about Ishmael. Read verse 11. And the angel of Yahweh said unto her, behold, thou art with child, and shalt bear a son, and shalt call his name Ishmael, because Yahweh hath heard thy affliction. Right? And he will be a wild man, and his hand will be against every man. Yeah, because he believes there's 70 virgins waiting for him. Anybody stands in his way of him serving Allah and being a righteous, quote unquote, Muslim, one who submits themselves to the will of Allah. Hey, if you against that, bombs away. Hand against every man, and every man's hand against him, and he shall dwell in the presence of all his brethren. So he's staying over there in the Middle East amongst the rest of his brethren that's been scattered throughout the various nations. He got 12 sons as well, right? But these are the things that we're seeing play out right now. So we're seeing, going back where it says, remembering his nature. What's his nature? The wild man. Once he gets the upper hand, when he's given the technologies, he's given the things that's going to be necessary for him to carry out all hell, he's gonna carry it out. He will do what, so-called white man won't do. Not many are willing to be martyrs for what they believe in. Ain't too many martyrs for the flag. Oh, but say it's for your God? Oh, okay. The stakes is raised. Remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. So, we're seeing a great uprising of these people. So here you go. Saudi Arabia is joining in to fight against the Armenians. Oh, the Iranians. They're going to get the upper hand. Once they get a hold of this particular technology, intelligence that's going to get fed to them from America and from the small hats. Right? So all these things we're seeing play out. Fighter jets from the United States and Saudi Arabia conducted joint military strikes overnight targeting Iranian proxy forces in Iraq. So look who they're joined up with. Oh, the United States. Why they get the upper hand? Because America's got their back. Officials said, marking what appeared to be Ryder's direct entry into the ongoing conflict between Washington and Tehran. U.S. Central Command said in a statement that the two countries hit logistics and weapon sites across eastern Iraq in response to more than 30 drone attacks directed by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. In recent days, the Saudi Defense Ministry acknowledged its involvement in the operation, but provided little detail. No kidding. You want to be hush-hush about it, huh? Okay. Look at this. Blurred front lines. Trump to meet Zelensky as Ukraine. Iran wars collide. Yeah. Ukraine went and hit an Iranian commercial vessel. Well, they got their own conflict going on over there in Eastern Europe between Russia. He's trying to throw himself into the mix to gain favor with Trump and gain favor with America. I can do too. I shoot a rocket too. No. Trump better sit him down and say, look, man, I'm trying to stop what y'all got going on. I don't need you to be jumping in over here trying to impress me. I got enough damn problems. So this also is showing how greatly that this war is expanding. This is just the tinkering of World War III. Now you're seeing Ukraine taking attacks on Iran. Ukraine's Zelensky is poised to hold talks with President Donald Trump on Tuesday. The meeting comes as the U.S. war against Iran and Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine have threatened to overlap. Ukraine on Saturday launched an attack on an Iranian commercial vessel in the Caspian Sea. The Islamic Republic has threatened retaliation over the strike. As of right now, they haven't retaliated against Ukraine, but guess what? Ukraine and America have a relationship, so to speak. Not too long ago, Zelensky and Trump was, barking at each other, and they was calling it the fight house. And Trump had to kick him out. Now all of a sudden they buddy again. But guess who also is buddy? Iran and Russia. See that? It all makes sense. Why and who is choosing what particular sides, and why and who is doing what. There's no blurred lines here. Let's look at this little video.
The war between Russia and Ukraine may have just opened another dangerous front. This time, not in the Black Sea, not on the battlefield in Donbass, but in the Caspian Sea. Iran has accused Ukraine of attacking one of its commercial vessels, killing a sailor and injuring another. Tehran says the strike is a blatant violation of international law and warns that it cannot go unanswered. The diplomatic confrontation erupted after Ukraine announced a series of long-range strikes targeting ships and infrastructure in the Caspian Sea. According to President Zelensky, the operation was aimed at disrupting Russia's military logistics network. He said the vessels were allegedly transporting cargo supporting Moscow's war effort. Initially, Ukraine did not identify the nationality of the ships that were hit. But hours later, Iran claimed one of the targeted vessels was an Iranian commercial ship. According to Tehran, the strike killed one Iranian sailor and wounded another.
And if y'all remember, and like I said, this is just a tinkling. You know, they say tickle your cheeks with a feather. Like that's what the Most High is doing, because when I covered, the first 4 trumpets of Revelation, in Revelation 8th chapter, we talked about maritime warfare jumping off, man. Ships being destroyed out on the field. And you're seeing a little bit here. You're seeing them getting attacked. This is the times that we in. These are the type of trumpets that are now, the angels are like wetting their whistles. You know, you see Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis and them cats back in the day. They, getting ready to, that's what the angels are doing.
Iran immediately summoned Ukraine's representative in Tehran to lodge a formal protest, calling the attack a violation of the United Nations Charter and international law. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi then escalated the rhetoric even further. Posting on X, he accused President Zelensky of attacking an Iranian commercial vessel and declared, "This blatant violation of international law cannot go unanswered." Araghchi also alleged that Ukraine was acting at Israel's behest.
Tell me something we don't know. Zelensky is supposedly a fake, well, a small hat mutant too. But at the same time, they're running a Nazi campaign over there. So I'm not going to play too much more of this. There's still another, 2 minutes left on this, because we got some more stuff to cover. But you can see how things are escalating. Like I said from the beginning, it's not getting better. It's only getting worse. It went from bad to worse. So the expansions of the war, we're hearing Egypt now being involved, Yemen being involved, Ukraine now is then hit Iran. Iran saying we're going to pay you back. This can't go unanswered. They've yet to make good on it yet, but the fact that these nations and these things are swirling around should tell you something. Now, rest in peace. Rest in piss. Lindsey Graham, a closeted homosexual, who was. These are these old damn demons, man, who were out here pushing for the war. They but won't lift a damn finger, man, when it comes down to, defending themselves. Watch this behind the scenes CNN footage that they got of him just glazing not a Jew and all this, man. All right, I can't even explain it. Watch this.
Hey, BB Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
Notice he said Bibby. He wanted to say baby. Sound like he said baby. He's a sodomite, man. And you know who outed him? Well, first of all, I showed the pictures of him down in Disney World by himself, looking like a PDF file with a damn sparkler thing in his hand, or some damn magic, not even magic, some damn witch wand in his hand. They got down there. He sit down there by his damn self, Disney World, with a damn effeminate female wand in his hand, or some madness, right? But there was an interview with, of all people, man, dope fiend Hunter Biden was talking about, and I seen the short. I haven't seen the whole interview, but Hunter Biden was talking about how there's a whole regime of closeted sodomites in Washington. And he said they're primarily Republicans, but he said that the way that the things that they do and why they're so destructive and corrupt in their ways is because they are, they've been fighting themselves. They can't be who they are, so they rather destroy everything else as they're battling themselves being in the closet. And the host was like, yeah, we know, like Lindsey Graham. He was like, yeah, exactly. Everybody knows. He's a sodomite. He was like, man, everybody in Washington knows who these sodomites are, but they're all running the show, which kind of, is par for the course, because I've shown guys like Peter Thiel in the Sam Altman, all these guys, head of tech, AI, technology, open AI, all it, Anthropic. I mean, these guys are all flaming sodomites, husbands and all. So when the Bible talks about this place being spiritual Sodom, I mean, that's who's running this thing, man. So listen to this guy. He wants to say, "Hey, baby," but he calls him Bibby. Benjamin Netanyahu.
Hey, baby, Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay. How are you?
Glad to be your friend.
I'm glad you are my friend.
This never before seen documentary.
Glad to be your friend. For what? The guy is corrupt as all outdoors, man. His own country is trying to level charges against him for war crimes and all kind of other matters. Everybody knows that dude's a straight demon. And somebody, who was it? Oh man, it was a viral post, man, and I think it was a video too, and I forgot who it was. One of these prime ministers was talking about how Netanyahu, man, said that, somebody saying that they're God's chosen people, man, they sure acting like the devil. Paraphrasing the whole gist of the damn video. But we can't say that. Shh.
Footage of the late Senator Lindsey Graham gives us a rare look behind the scenes over his years-long campaign to strike Iran.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. All right. Connecting you now.
Documentary filmmaker Alex Holder spent 3 years going behind the scenes with Senator Lindsey Graham before his death, recording more than 400 hours of remarkable video.
I'm going to meet with the president this weekend. I'm going down to Doral.
The South Carolina Republican was a key ally and Trump whisperer when it came to the war with Iran. In this behind-the-scenes call with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Graham is seen strategizing about how to approach President Trump. Graham appears to suggest that he'll actually meet with Trump to try to convince him to join Israel's bombing campaign against Hezbollah in Lebanon.
I'm going to try to get him to join with y'all in Lebanon, to maybe fly some with you. Would you like that?
And it's Netanyahu who...
The war between Russia and Ukraine may have just opened.
But you hear this guy, man, begging and glazing Netanyahu. I'm glad I'm your friend. Hey, I'm going to talk to the president, man. I'm going to get him to try to, take a flight with you. Would you like that? Oh, you would? Okay. At the same time, I'm going to try to get him to join you guys in bombing Lebanon. Would you like that, boss? Hail Satan. You dig what I'm saying? Like, if that's not evidence enough that the small hats is over here running the show when you got top politicians, man, with knee pads on, slicking their hair back so that, they don't get their hair in their face while they're going downtown on him. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Every minute he's asking for his approval. And now they just said that he was the quote unquote Trump whisperer, as he's over here robotically, whispering in Trump's ear, man, and Trump is at his beck and call. And the Most High just took that demon spirit, man, Lindsey Graham, so he's out of here. But who else is going to be behind the scenes? Or now that maybe Netanyahu doesn't have his plug no more, does he just go all out and do some foolishness? And just say, hey, you know what? I got to force his hand. I got to do something to make America fully go in with me. I don't have the influential ear no more. I might as well go ahead and just spark up something for real. Lindsey Graham was pushing for the damn draft. Talking about get the young bodies out there, man, and go fight for their country. Meanwhile, his old ass won't do nothing. He can't walk across the street without somebody holding his hand. Or couldn't.
Hey, baby, Lindsay.
If we tell, I've been thinking of...
To get him to join with y'all in Lebanon, to maybe fly some with you. Would you like that?
And it's Netanyahu who appears to dissuade Graham.
I think you have a point, but I've been thinking about the other side of it for a second. We're concentrating right now on Iran. If we tell Hezbollah that we're going all the way threaten us. But if we actually do it,
Okay.
then they have no reason not to go all the way against us. And right
Okay.
now, that's not.
Listen, March 4th, 2026, he's telling him, look, if we tell Hezbollah we're going to go all the way, I just want to make sure I got the backing of America. And Lindsey Graham's going, okay, okay. Anything else, boss? Okay. Yeah, they packing cracks for sure, man. Hershey Highway activity all day.
Not our interest.
Okay.
We can do it later.
Well, I'll. Okay. Well, that's actually good counsel.
That's good counsel. He's getting counsel from not a Jew, man. Now he said we can do it later. So mind you, this was March of 2026. They had this particular conversation. Now not a Jew does not have this particular man to conversate and counsel with anymore. So guess what? That means later is going to come sooner. Because now he got no choice. So mind you, that's what I'm saying. We don't know what lengths Esau is going to go to, in particular, the GMO small hats, and how far they're willing to go for the Greater Israel project that they want to get established. But he just got through saying that we tell Hezbollah we're going all out. We're going to push the button. He said, okay, okay. And he said, we can do it later. But, putting it out there, we need to do it. Okay. I'm gonna talk to the boss.
I'll put it out there as an idea. We can always go back to it.
And Graham working both sides of the aisle, speaking shortly after with President Biden's former national security advisor, Jake Sullivan.
I talked to BB this morning.
Now, some of the people Graham spoke with by phone told the Wall Street Journal they did not know the calls were being recorded.
Bitten ass by his own NSA. Look, every minute he's talking about, I talked to Bibi, I talked to Bibi, I talked to Bibi. So we see who the plug is when it comes down to the ears and the mouthpiece that's coming from the small hats into Washington. Now that thing's been cut off, how desperate will the small hats get? That's the question.
Hey, Bibi, Lynn.
Hey, Bibi, get out of here. Continuing on, look, Saudi Arabia forms a new military coalition to deter the Red Sea attacks. So Saudi Arabia, again, is ramping up their military for this war. They're getting prepared, just as the scriptures say, just like we read earlier. 67 boat strikes, 221 dead. The cocaine hasn't slowed, officials report. So much for them stopping the big old drug dealers in Venezuela and Maduro, and they were going to stop this narco terrorist from Colombia. Do we need any more evidences that was all bogus? That was all lies? Huh? As they smuggled away $500 million in gold and oil and money and, drained out Venezuela, and then Venezuela gets rocked by an earthquake. They said they're going to go send help, and we ain't heard nothing since. Recovery efforts and anything that America's doing over there, I ain't heard nothing. Have y'all? Let me know. So ain't nothing changed. Drug is still flowing through. America just wants to be able to control. They need to be damn Nino Brown. They want to control everything. Same way they did in Afghanistan with the poppy fields, with the manufacturing of heroin. Same way they did with the drug trade with the CIA and Gary Webb and Rick Ross and Fernando Blandón and Oliver North and Nicaragua and all that. We all know about the CIA putting dope in our community. Who does? Man, Esau is constantly at the right. He wants it all. So now the numbers is out. Oh, you've done 67 boat strikes, killed over 220 people, and it ain't stopped the drug trade. And that's what you say you're going to be doing. Make that make sense. Corruption at its finest. Look at it. Here you go. Border invasion. Here goes the Walking Dead. 18 dead is almost 50,000 migrants in the Spanish enclave from Morocco. They said it's up to 60,000, and they said that the town only has 85,000 people. So you're talking about almost the entire. Hold on, let me see. I've seen that somewhere. Yeah, look at it. 83,567 people live in this little town, Ceuta, Spain. 83,000. Now, mind you, they said that it's 60,000 zombies that just broke through. And you know what this means? This is going to be the template for ICE to be able to ratchet up their hell on earth for the so-called migrants here. Because what they're going to say, look what happened over there in Spain. Look what's happening over there in Europe. We can't afford to have our country be collapsed. Imagine if 10,000, 20,000 of these migrants break down the walls of the Mexican border or float over here from Cuba. We can't have it. Shoot to kill, do whatever we can. They let all this stuff go down so that they can make an example and they can sit back and say, we can't have that go down here. And then guess what? All these little right-wing Edomites talking about we need to take America back and all that. They're going to say, yep, that's right. The hell with that. We can't afford to have them damn migrants over here. Look what they did to them Spaniards.
Okay, we have some breaking news to bring you. We're hearing this from Reuters, and they're quoting, they say, the Spanish Home Office. And they say, essentially, they estimate 49,000 people.
Look, they don't know how many. Reuters saying 49,000. Sky News says 50,000. This particular article is from what? This is from another foreign news source. I can't remember if it's Metro or if it was from I forgot where I got this one from. But anyway, they're saying 60,000. So they have no idea how many of the zombies came from Morocco, man, to take over the one. They taking over that whole city, man. They almost got the entire town population over there. And they had some videos, man, of them Spaniards. They was trying to fight and get, man. They had no chance.
Crossed into Ceuta illegally over the past 24 hours. These were the latest pictures that we showed you earlier. People swimming, in some cases, from Morocco, heading in, jumping over barriers, running through to Ceuta. Some saying that this is a better life from them.
Anybody seen that I Am Legend? Where you see them, you see them zombies, man, sitting there in the huddle, bobbing their heads, waiting, to eat something. That's what they look like in the dark. You watched that book I Am Legend with Will Smith when he broke into that building to save his dog, and he went into that room and them zombies were sitting there rocking and dry humping each other, whatever they were doing. But look here, you see the Spanish National Guard and that military, they just escorting them on in. Ain't nobody stopping them.
To Ceuta, some saying that this is a better life from them. Local authority police saying essentially this was a humanitarian crisis and they were failing to contain what was happening. But the latest figure there from Reuters, who say they have heard this from Spain's Interior Ministry, just estimating that 49,000 migrants crossed into Ceuta over the past 24 hours.
And I believe there was some policies that Spain said that they were gonna let them over, and You said the Sun, LA Times, Fox News, the Independent. Yeah, I think this is from the Sun. No, maybe I don't even remember. I be on so many dang sites, but yeah, you're right. Subsequently, it's over 60,000. These were early numbers, I believe, but it's up there. Spain said, "Yeah, we'll let a few of y'all in." They said, "What? Oh, everybody's coming."
And just to add, this has been a huge cost of life too. Our latest numbers are that 18 people out of those 49,000 have lost their lives in this dangerous crossing into Ceuta in Spain.
So America's going to use this template and say, "Well, look what happened over there in Spain. Look what happened in Germany. Look what's happening in Portugal. Look what's happening in France." Remember some years ago, man, when all them damn migrants was running over, breaking down the gates and all that, invading into Europe, and they looking like the damn Walking Dead for real. They was running in the streets and wilding out, and now they camped out all over all in Europe, scamming, robbing, doing whatever. They claiming they over there raping women. I mean, who knows? But this is what. And this is why America is going to say, this is why we got to justify ICE. This is why we got to do what we got to do. See, look at this. You talk about all hell breaking loose. I mean, literally. When the Most High said he's going to visit the heathen, man, he's going to, exact judgment on them and these type of things going on, especially to the countries that did us harm. Look, being overran. They burning cars, they flipping up cars and buildings, they tearing stuff up over there. Now look at this. And they're going to say, look, immigration agents use racial slurs referring to Latinos in text messages, video obtained by the ACLU. When they see a video like this that happened over there in Morocco and Spain, they're going to say, well, that's not that big a deal. Would you rather deal with a damn racial slur than being overran by a gang of damn migrants who's going to take over your country and ruin your democracy and rape your women and steal your kids and kill people and do drugs? And they basically saying, man, the juice ain't worth the squeeze. Hey, we got to protect ours. So this is going to get brushed over like, yeah, so what? Look what's happening in Europe. We can't have that over here. This is why Trump was running around talking about they're eating the dogs. They're eating the dogs. And I'm going to build a wall. And I got a military, Gestapo unit ready to run the streets to do whatever it takes to round up 2,000 of them a day. Don't you like that? Or would you rather be like Spain? Most people are going to say, we don't want Spain. Do what you got to do. But meanwhile, we're seeing what's happening with ICE. So you trying to tell me that this isn't racially motivated? They're not racially targeting our people? When they got text messages, man, where they've been having slanders about it? Look, this again goes to the curses. Deuteronomy 28. Said the byword and the proverb. Deuteronomy 28 and where's that one at? It's up here a little bit further. All right, I gotta search. 37. Oops. Deuteronomy 28:37 says, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither Yahweh shall lead thee. What's one of the bywords that they was caught on these text messages? New court filings detail immigration agents in LA referring to potential targets using racial slurs. Civil rights groups are asking the federal judge to bar an ongoing campaign of suspicionless and discriminatory stops in the Central District of California. Immigration agents who descend on Los Angeles last summer referred to Latinos using slurs, bywords, proverbs like tonk and wet. According to body camera footage and text messages detailed in a court filing asking a federal judge to bar agents from making stops based on racial profiling. Well, look, how about this? Remember what I said? They got no problem utilizing Spain or wherever as a case study. Now we see that Agent Orange and his FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, are being told no longer to investigate any of these ICE confrontations. Now they're giving these cats carte blanche to do whatever they want, and there's not going to be no investigations behind it. Body cam footage, no need for that anymore. You're already seeing evidences of racial profiling, the slurs being used, beat downs, unalivings on camera, running people down with cars, causing accidents, raping women, pulling them out of bathroom stalls, and all of that. And now they've been given a pass to say, well, guess what? You can do it without fear of consequence. Federal agents were told FBI will no longer investigate ICE confrontations. Now, mind you, this is how you know it was already in motion, because from the last two unalivers, the one in Texas and the one in Maine, Agent Orange said the federal judge said no more ICE stoppages with these cars, chasing people down and all the other stuff, man. You're going to have to find them. You have to track them down a whole nother way. The orangutan in charge, he says, no. Forget what the judge said. You go out there and you pull them over in the streets, do what you need to do. And then the federal judge had to come back again and said, no, they ain't not doing that. No car chases, all the stuff about they trying to run me over and shoot people, that's out. How are we going to avoid dealing with lives and consequence? We just not doing them type of stops no more. So Agent Orange doubles down and says, well, guess what? We ain't investigating no confrontations then. How about that? Now look here. Senior officials deny such a change is in the works despite guidance shared with agents around the country in recent days. So the senior officials lie and say that's not happening. But guidelines are being shared with agents all around the country, saying this is what it is. Unbelievable, man. This is all bad. This is really bad, because now you're gonna really see. And I said this months back when they got their funding, when they got it, I said they about to unleash ICE like no other. They already put the threats out to New York. Agent Orange says, I want 2,000 arrests a day. You know, they're building up 80,000 occupant detention centers all across the country. And now they're being told, hey, do what you need to do. I already told the watchdogs and the FBI, man, that let it go. No investigation gonna happen. Bad news, man. Bad news. Here we go. DHS official resigned, citing war on immigrants. Oh, the Department of Homeland Security, an official, he says, man, I'm out. I can't do it. Behind closed doors, man, they are waging war against immigrants. I didn't sign up for this. They're targeting our people, abusing our people, oppressing our people, harassing our people, profiling our people, throwing them in cages, locking the doors, alligator Alcatraz, etc. And this guy said, man, I had enough. I didn't sign up for this. And he's one of many of recent who've got out of Dodge. Even the former head of ICE, Kristi Noem, they had to chop her down, get rid of her. And I'm sure she ain't crying over spilt milk. Look at this. The outgoing executive director of the Office of Homeland Security Statistics is one of a very few federal officials to speak out against the Trump administration immigration crackdown. The Department of Homeland Security top number cruncher has resigned, citing the Trump administration's, quote, war on immigrants on his way out. DHS has been a hub of controversy during the second Trump term. The ICE raids in American cities, the wild spending, the growing archipelago of detention centers, the attempts to hide data about it all. But vanishingly few officials have left the department and been openly critical of the direction it has taken. Mark Rosenblum, who served as executive director of the Office of Homeland Security Statistics and a deputy assistant at the department, is one of the first. I'm thrilled to end my relationship with the current administration. He's out of there. He says, between the war on immigrants, the war on the feds, and the war on facts, not to mention the crazy war in Iran and the brazen corruption, I just need a change. And look, man, if Satan is casting out Satan, man, that this kingdom is going to fall. Bottom line, this guy, Mark Rosenblum, is saying the quiet part out loud that this indeed is a war on the immigrants. He's giving these guys fully equipped with masks, guns, full autonomy to do what they want. No consequence, no investigations into the dirt and the corruption, racial slurs being said. It doesn't matter. Unaliving our people on camera, man, they getting away with it. Unbelievable. We talked about it earlier. More than 30 Minnesota water systems targeted in a cyber attack. I'm going to preface this with, I think it's Jeremiah 50. Yeah. Jeremiah 50, right? Verse 38. A drought is upon her waters. This is speaking about modern day Babylon. That America is going to face a drought, right? A drought could be literally drying up of water resources, but also a drought could mean no access to the water because guess what? The water is poisoned. The water is compromised. Now, water can't be drank. We seen a few years ago they had the hurricanes and the storms that went down there in Mississippi. Water supplies was all jacked up. They had to, give people cases of bottled water because they couldn't drink the water for like 2 weeks. And then when they said that it was safe, I don't know if y'all remember this, they would turn on the water, man, and the water was all jacked up, and one lady tried to give the water to her dog, and the dog wouldn't drink it. I mean, look at Flint, Michigan. That's still jacked up. That's part of the drought as well. A drought is upon our waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. America is crazy about their idols, so much that they have a singing competition called American Idol. Land of graven images, from the Statue of Liberty to the Sears building in Chicago, to this, to the damn Empire State Building, to all of the idolatrous images in of Egypt, the phallic symbols, the Washington monuments, the arch of the Roman ark that they got over. I mean, all the stuff that they've gotten based upon idolatry, man. The pyramids that they got down in the Luxor Hotel in Vegas. I mean, you name it. All of the sports, everybody's playing for the trophy, for the idol, for the Stanley Cup. They're playing for the the NBA championship thing. The football, everything is idol based. The Lord said this place is going to get hit with water shortages, right? So when we see more than 30 Minnesota water systems are targeted in the cyber attack, and of course it's saying this looks like the work of Iran, with no real proof, immediately they say, oh, Iran did it. How do we know that the same people who can program beepers to blow up on people, you know what I'm talking about, couldn't have did it in order to provoke a further attack on America? Listen, when the small house men don't get their way, they'll do something to convince people to see things their way. Outside of this, this particular article came out a couple of days ago. As of today, I think they said 7 other states have been under the threat of a cyber attack on the water supply system. So, be that as it may, we see that the water now is being attacked. America is already in, a similitude of a third world country when it comes down to water rationing, especially here. Look, Colorado residents are ratting out neighbors over water use during the drought. So now you've got it to the point to where people are willing to snitch on somebody who's watering their lawn too long, washing their car. Your friends over at your kids is over their friend's house and they notice somebody then took too long of a shower, and hey, you guys can take 15-minute showers over here? I thought we could only take 5. Oh no, we don't pay attention to that. Hey, Mom, Dad, Timmy and them, they're taking 15-minute showers. Really? We need to call the authority. My water bill's going up because they're abusing the water. They turn everybody on each other, man. People start cannibalizing themselves over this shit because they can't control. The Lord saying drought is on the way, man. I mean, look, this is third world type situations, man. Imagine you in Kenya or the middle, Africa somewhere, or India somewhere, where water is running low. People's gonna be fighting over the water. People's gonna be snitching on each other for the water. People's gonna be upset because they can't have access to something that they should, would think is free for everybody. If the earth is damn near 3/4 of water, three-quarters water, how come you can't get the water flowing? Well, maybe because the Most High said drought is on the way. This place is accursed. Scofflaws violating water restrictions have sparked tensions throughout Denver, turning residential streets into checkerboards of virtue and vice. In Denver these days, it's the brown lawns versus the green. As Colorado ties up a historic drought, scofflaws violating water restrictions have sparked tensions throughout the state's largest metropolitan area, turning residential streets into checkerboards of virtue and vice. The emerald green lawns of cheaters, now about the crispy brown grass of the rule followers, defiance that's visible for all to see. So that's going to end gardening, all that stuff, man. So they can control it all. Like you say, they already do it out here, but they say catching rainwater. They be talking about these violations. Certain cities, man, is on restrictions, water restrictions, because of the drought. Meanwhile, charging you an arm and a damn leg for your water. To the point now where people are falling in line, because where did they learn this from? Oh, remember 5 years ago? If you see something, say something. Oh, they're not standing 6 feet? They're not wearing a mask? Oh, they're gathering together and not supposed to? Let us know. Police wearing masks will be there immediately to take names and dates. Misdemeanor tickets. Fire you from your job. So they learn the tattletale culture in these particular scenarios because they were trained up early from the COVID scenarios. Water crisis.
Well, this just in. We're getting word on what states would see water cuts to manage the Colorado River under a new proposal.
Yeah, something we've been following for a long time. This is a major update. Arizona is one of 3 states that would take less water from the river. Colton is joining us now with more of the details. Colton, what are we learning?
Yeah, it had major implications, guys. Our state, as well as California and Nevada, would face cuts under this new proposal. So the proposal from the U.S. Bureau of Reclamation says Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, and Wyoming would not face cuts, at least for now. And this would still just be a temporary fix, as the states that rely on this river still fight over long-term management plans for this dwindling resource. So under the state, the lower basin states, including ours, could face collective cuts up to 3 million acre feet through 2036, which is actually enough water to serve more than 25 million people a year. So you can see that is significant.
Look at the weather. It's Arizona. 114. 89 at night. Naquab and the family out there, man, hey. Y'all some tough ones, man, because I could not do that. And that's daily, and it's bad. Brother said last week they were dealing with 118, 119, and the power got cut. And they couldn't use the AC. Nasty. And they talking about, oh, this is a temporary solution, but it should be good. It should lighten up by 2036. You're talking about another 10 years where they're talking about regulating the water for Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, California. And then they said the other cities of Wyoming and New Mexico and another one, they're not involved for now. So when you're talking about third world type conditions, it's already here in America. Water rationing, droughts amongst whole states. It ain't like cities. Whole states is saying, look, we ain't got enough water, man. We got to watch what we're doing. Hey, spy on your neighbor, see something, say something, man. Report anybody that's violating. We can't afford to lose anything.
Now, the proposed cuts to the lower basin would be the biggest to date and could have huge impacts across cities and farms. We're talking higher water prices, increased groundwater reliance, also more agriculture out of production, and also new water-saving mandates.
So we said more agriculture out of production, higher water prices, more restrictions on farming. So what's that tell you? Oh, famine, less access to foods. And if you did not see the lesson I did Thursday, or had played Thursday, regarding the franken fruits that Esau's bubbling up, trying to make, let alone lab-grown meat and all the other stuff. You know, he manufactures a lot of these things because he's got the solution on the back end. Remember, Hegelian dialectic is always in play for him. Problem, reaction, solution.
We're also hearing from the CEO and president of the Arizona Chamber of Commerce on this proposal this morning, saying, quote, the U.S. Department of Interior's decision on future Colorado River operations places a deeply disproportionate burden on Arizona and fails to deliver the truly basin-wide solution the river demands. We'll, of course, keep you updated as this story continues to develop. Tess?
Well, this just in.
Meanwhile, in Japan,
breaking overnight, a powerful earthquake struck southern Japan. We're seeing video of badly damaged buildings. Officials say dozens are hurt, and there are reports of people trapped inside a shopping mall. CBS News foreign correspondent Remy Inocencio is tracking this developing story from our London newsroom and joins us now. Remy, good morning. What kind of impact is this powerful earthquake having, and what do we know about any people injured?
Absolutely, Errol. And we're getting this as it's coming right now. Breaking news, this strong magnitude 7.1 quake rocking Japan's southernmost island. It's called Kyushu. This hit about 6 miles deep, which is shallow as earthquakes go, and that can mean more destruction. This happened just before 4:30 this afternoon local time, just as rush hour was getting going. And the damage we're seeing right now is mounting.
This, again, is fresh off of the earthquakes that they had last month or earlier this month. It's still July. Venezuela. Japan also got hit. Who else was it? Philippines, Papua New Guinea, Venezuela. Seems like every week we're talking about major quakes happening. So 2 Ezra 9 tells us you're going to have uproars of the people in the earth and earthquakes in diverse places. That for sure is holding true. We see the uproars of the people over there in Morocco, Spain, so forth and so on. Now we're seeing massive quakes jumping off on the regular now. Oh, and up north.
Broadcaster NHK, for example, is reporting that many people are trapped inside a shopping mall. And right now we're seeing from Fuji TV reporting that multiple deaths have been confirmed at that mall that you're seeing right there on your screen right now, the Aeon Mall in Kumamoto. In other damage, we're seeing at least buildings on fire, 2 buildings on fire, a train that's derailed. And now it is evening, thousands of homes and families in the dark without power tonight. Earlier, we did get tsunami warnings issued, officials warning that there could be waves of up to 3 feet, but that has just been lifted. And as we wait for even more damage reports to come in, we do know that at least 50 people have been taken to the hospital, and officials are now warning that more aftershocks could come. So this is breaking news, Errol, right now. More, of course, as we get it.
All right, very important information there, Remy.
Not done. China. So Japan 7.1. Next day, China gets hit with 2 5.2 magnitude earthquakes happened within 20 minutes of each other. No, not within 20 minutes of each other. That would make it sound like it was 40 minutes of elapsed time. Within 20 minutes, in 20 minutes, there were 2 quakes in China. So, scriptures holding true with the quakes. You ever wonder what's been going on with this? You know, they've been hush, man. Orangutan Orange, man, he said, man, shut the investigation down. You know, there's some corruption going on, man. When he shut down his own investigation regarding the quote-unquote assassination attempt that happened to him a year ago. He said, shut that down. We don't need to investigate that no more. You don't want to find out who what happened if Tyler Robinson? No, Tyler Robinson. That's the cat that did Charlie Kirk. Who did they say called Agent Orange? I forgot. But he said, man, shut it down. Now his good buddy over here, all his close friends now who's got ties to him are suddenly finding themselves unalived. Anybody who knows where the bodies are buried, man, they all of a sudden they dropping like flies. And there's nothing to see here. Move along. The mysterious deaths of Jeffrey Epstein's friends, a modeling scout, joins a long line of deceased insiders linked to the late sex offenders, stoking theories of foul play and a cover-up. Yeah, y'all just marinate on that. I'm not gonna go too much deeper in this, but the smoke, there's fire. This guy in the middle, everybody seeing this notorious demon's face, supposedly unalived himself in prison. He's got connections with some of the most powerful people in the world. Everybody's been trying to, keep a hush. Agent Orange says, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to get the files open. And as soon as they open them up and his name is in there a million times, he says, close the files. Nothing to see here. And now all of a sudden, some of his closer buddies who knows where the bodies is buried, they're now coming unalived. Okay, moving on. U.S. prosecutors charge an Atlanta man after a graphene OS phone wipes itself during an airport search. Why is this important? There's a particular phone app, I guess it's called Graphene OS, that you can wipe on a Google Pixel phone, that you can wipe your phone clean. Guy does it at the airport. Now, granted, we could be fair. Maybe he has some dirt on there that he didn't want to be seen. What kind of dirt? Who knows? But the fact of the matter is that he got prosecuted and arrested for doing that. So imagine what happens when the entire grid is open to who's playing nice with the beat system, who isn't. If you decide to say, I'm wiping my phone, I'm out of this system, we're seeing people get arrested now for doing that. Someone says a hot potato federal case in Atlanta is raising questions about a privacy-focused mobile operating system. Privacy-focused, so that lets you know that your privacy, my privacy, is always going to be under scrutiny. It isn't really private. They want in, they can get in. And if you try to say, get out, I'm wiping this thing, oh, we're arresting you. What are you hiding? Look at this. With prosecutors arguing that its features were used to erase evidence, the U.S. Department of Justice is attempting to prosecute Atlanta resident Sam Tunick under a federal statute that makes it a crime to destroy property in an effort to prevent it from being seized. The case centers on Tunick's use of Graphene OS on open source operating system, an open source operating system that works on Google Pixel phones and lets users enter passcode to wipe a device clean. Experts said the legal approach is unusual and may be the first time the law has been aimed at an operating system. It's concerning and sends the message that Graphene OS is criminal by default, said Christoph Boutry, a cybersecurity and surveillance expert. Boutry and Bill Buddington, senior staff technologists at the Electronic Frontier Foundation, both said they had not seen a similar case. So this guy's case is like no other, where it comes with the Google Pixel phone, and he decides he's going to wipe his phone clean. Now, they don't, I didn't go too far in depth as to what particular crime or testimony he's being held for or whatever. Like I said, could he have some stuff on there that could, work against him? Probably so. But let's say he didn't. And the man just wants to try to keep his business clean. Maybe he has some pictures of his wife on there. Who knows? And he's like, look, I'm not going to have this be played out in court. I'm not going to do I'm erasing it. I got it on my phone. They can't tell me I can't wipe my phone. So if you decide to reset your phone and do a hard reset and delete everything, and they decide to say, oh, you did that in the commission of a crime, and they don't have to have no probable cause or nothing, especially for us being black and Hispanic. They don't give a damn. They can make up some damn reason. The NSPM7, if you remember, we all know about that law. Your speech, all that could be held against you in contempt, or they, funneling through your text messages and all that. If it ever came up to say, hey, you're in violation of NSPM7, you've been speaking against right-wing Christianity, America, all this other stuff. And now they say, well, give us your phone. And you say, well, no, I'm going to wipe my phone. You're in contempt. You broke the law. Where are you? More evidence. They're just building these particular cases, man, so that they can have excuse to doing what they want. I mean, hey, if he can tell the FBI no more investigations for anything that ICE is doing, I mean, all bets is off. They can make it up as they go along. Nasty. Congo, Ebola, death tolls 1,400 as vaccine trials start. Oh, so now they got warp speed going over there. Of course, they're gonna roll up the arms of the people of Congo over there. I'm not gonna call them all Africans. Some might be Israel, but by and large, now they got them rolling up their sleeves because they got the Ebola outbreak over there, man. Meanwhile, they not solving the hunger problem. When people's out there escaping the damn quarantine facilities because they ain't got no food over there, and they're running rampant in Kenya and Congo and everywhere else. Now they say, oh, we got a nice little poking arm for you. Come on over. I mean, but we'll see what comes of that. But that thing is still rising. And if you watch the movie Contagion, they save all the outbreak diseases for future use in the little cryogenic freezers. Millions are told to close the window now as heart attack causing toxins from wildfires engulf 5 of the U.S. states. Yeah, all those fires that's been happening from Canada, floating down, polluting the air in Detroit and everywhere else. Now they're saying Idaho, Montana, Nevada, Oregon, and Washington State. You can't have your windows open anymore, even though it's 100 and 105. Stay in, sweat it out, run your electric bill up, whatever. So not only do we see Canada in flames, Portugal in flames, Spain in flames. I mean, the Most High is really touching this place, man. Our people got to get it together. We got to continue to improve and show the Most High that our repentance is worthwhile. And for those who haven't yet, start your journey immediately. Look at America's blood supply alarmingly low. Patient care at risk, says the Red Cross. And just in the spirit of things, Leviticus 17:11, the Most High says that life is in the blood. So when it says America's blood supply is alarmingly low, America is running low on life. In the spirit, man, this place is almost ready to tap out, hemorrhaging. So again, third world conditions is already here. When you got low on blood supplies, so medical supplies is running low, water's running low. People are pinching pennies, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Economy is shot. Warfare is all over. I mean, the writing's on the wall. The U.S. blood supply has reached crisis levels, prompting the American Red Cross and the Surgeon General's office to urge people to donate. Why it matters: a prolonged blood shortage could delay surgeries, trauma care, and other treatments that depend on timely blood transfusions. The Red Cross said it has less than a 1-day national supply of type O positive blood, which is the most commonly transfused blood type. Due to the shortage, the organization is limiting distribution of type O blood to hospitals. That's bad news. Crisis now. Residents are furious at the plan to seize and destroy their homes for AI data centers. Quote, "We don't have a choice in this." So the tech armies, the AI data centers that they're building up all across the country, draining the water supplies, boosting up the electricity bills. Now they're over here seizing people's homes. Just like they did back in the 80s out here in LA when they built the 110 freeway. No, the 105 freeway, I believe it was. And people in South Central and in other areas of the city were forced to sell their homes so that they can build and expand this highway. Otherwise, they get seized under eminent domain. Is the same thing that they're doing with these data centers. Now look here, it says, as dozens of cities, remember, Micah 2 says that they covet fields. They work mischief upon their beds. So here they are, the tech geniuses, the technocrats are sitting back, plotting and planning on how they're going to colonize and steal people's lands, move people out their homes, build up these data centers so that they can have a global grid set up, equipped with being able to monitor, track everything from your digital ID, your carbon credits, your spending habits, your following your cookies, everything else. Tracking your car, the flock cameras all over the place, powering all the AI to run the tech sectors and all these companies, building up the robots to take over the labor jobs. As dozens of cities across the U.S. are forced to scrap their plans to build power-hungry data centers, some civic leaders are no longer asking. Now we're seeing man against the machine, Skynet type scenarios, and people are putting up a fight. You see protests going on. Last week, what was it? 40, I think they said 40, what was it? 47 or 46 of the 50 states all out protesting these data centers getting built up. People know what it is, but they not stopping. According to the new report by Fortune, the state of Georgia's for-profit utility company, Georgia Power, is looking to demolish and pave over some 30 homes and 330 parcels of land that currently block the route of a 1,000-mile transmission line. Now, see here, it says, backed by the state, Georgia Power is now working on paying landowners to move or else face the seizure of their property by eminent domain. Now, I just seen, it was like a short of a debate between some Christian pastor, and I think it might have been IUIC or somebody. And the Christian pastor was talking about, I just want to make sure y'all break. I'm understanding, you guys are understanding about Deuteronomy 28, and you saying that that's a transatlantic slave trade. Are you trying to tell me you're a slave? Well, you can work, you can buy, nobody got you in chains, you can do whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. Like, the dumb Negro has no idea that you do not own anything. You don't own these lands. Anytime they want to take it, they can take it. Even if you paid off your 30-year mortgage, you still pay taxes on that land. Don't pay them taxes, that land can get seized. They've got eminent domain. When they've got state-run and state-funded projects or whatever that they say is in the interest of the state, eminent domain means it belongs to the state. They will compensate you for it, but they can seize it and take it if you don't play nice. They've got laws like civil asset forfeiture, where all they got to do is pull you over. If you got $5,000 in your pocket and you say, man, I just want a settlement from an accident, they can say, we don't believe you. We think this is drug money. We're going to seize this and detain you because you had a blunt roach in your ashtray. And they can say, oh, marijuana in the car. Oh, you found that? You selling drugs, man. Detain him. Oh, we're going to take your property too because we think this is drug run. That's not freedom. These guys, that guy had no idea what he's talking about. See? He said they cutting them flock cameras down. Hey, man, that's what's going down. People, and that's what's going to lead to civil unrest and civil wars up and off, man. That's why Agent Orange put out there, Antifa is a terrorist organization. Anybody that tries to organize anything that goes against the structure and the system that's being lined up, they already got the laws and the classifications that you're a terrorist and you're going against you're committing acts of sedition. January 6th already paved the way for all of that, even though those are all his people. He's paying them off. You or I go do it, you asked out, man. FEMA camps is waiting. So look down here, man. It says one woman whose childhood home was in the utility company's warpath has taken to social media to raise awareness about the impending takeover of her mother's house. We don't have a choice in this. They're going to be expanding power lines, the woman, Ansley Brown, said in one video posted on Instagram. Why? For the data centers. All of this is for the data centers. So everybody's seeing and knowing. The tech takeover is in full effect. All bad. Your man Frankenstein, Fauci, man, they pulled him out the crypt. He thought he got away. He was running off into the sunset, thought he could retire. No. Rand Paul's been chasing him down for years, wanting him to answer for his crimes. And what's he do? Pleads the fifth for everything. Pleads the fifth regarding the pandemic, the nature of it, the origins of it, why did he say all the stuff that he said? Everything's plead the fifth. I don't always live by this rule, but sometimes when you don't say something, it's almost an admission of guilt. Now, in this particular scenario, we all can agree. This guy is guilty of sin, and he said, I'm not going to say nothing that can further incriminate me or to satisfy, any of y'all here. I'm old as dirt. I did what I did, and I'm out of here. And they was flaming him up. They was on him in that little congressional hearing. But hey, man, the dude said, "Oh, plead the fifth. I'm not saying nothing." You know you're guilty as hell, man. You know, you facing a crime was the first thing they tell you to do. Shut up. Plead the fifth. Don't admit to nothing. Don't debrief. Don't talk to nobody. Get your lawyer. He played it smart. I ain't saying nothing. And now we'll never get no answers because we know that this dude was doing dirt, man. Yeah, 100 times. Look, he said in 2017 there's gonna be another pandemic under this administration. He was talking about Agent Orange. Wound up happening at the end of his administration, 2019. During that time, he put Operation Warp Speed into effect. Slow Biden gets the reins in 2020 and crashed out. You trying to tell me you knew what it was? You lied and said that it wasn't. It came from bats. Everybody said no. It came from the lab. NIH. Resource labs and all this other stuff. He lied about everything. Man. He says it's only going to take 2 weeks to stop the spread. Oh, mask ain't going to do nothing. Next thing you know, he said mask up, glove up, 6 feet. Oh, lockdowns, quarantines, all this other stuff, pokes in the arm. And now they sit back saying, what was all that about, man? Why'd you lie? I plead the fifth. You know the damage that you did? You know how many lives that you caused to falter? Plead the fifth. I mean, these devils get away with whatever they want, man. It's wild. But they ain't getting away. Most I got, you got some stuff for them. Let me wrap it up with a couple more, man. Sales are so low. California wineries are burning their vineyards, man. People can't afford to wine no more. Wineries is burning down the vineyards, man. The grapevine, you ride up to 5, you can see the grapevine, man, where they, harvesting and getting the winery, the wine vineyards, riding up the 5 freeway. Yeah. And what's so cold is they say that people are opting out for the pre-mixed cheaper stuff or even non-alcoholic stuff, which lets you know there's also part of the damn economy too. People ain't drinking, high established wines like that no more. They over here drinking Buzz Balls and damn, what's the name of the other ones? Oh, damn. I forgot the name of the things. But they all get pre-mixed drinks and all that stuff, man. Look, nationwide wine sales are at the lowest level in more than 2 decades as people drink less amid growing public with health warnings that alcohol is unhealthy. Sales also suffer as many young drinkers have found traditional wine stodgy and difficult to understand and prefer canned cocktails, seltzers, and non-alcoholic beers and spirits. So, young cats, man, they out here drinking White Claw and all that other stuff. They ain't drinking no damn wine like that no more. And now the wineries is even falling out of favor. Economy's going bad, y'all. Look, airports, nursing homes, and schools brace for disruption without Haitian workers. Look, 350,000 Haitians they booting up out of here under the Trump administration. And of course, now that you see what's going on in Spain, is anybody going to, these Edomites, man, you think they're going to ride for them and say, no, that ain't right? They're going to say, that's 350,000. These damn niggas can get up out of here. More for you. But guess who's the damn backbone of states like Ohio and others who's working in these particular jobs that none of them want to do? Airports, nursing homes, schools. Take away our people, man, this place can collapse. So let them reap what they sow. Let them reap what they sow, man. Can you imagine, 350,000 of our people, man, they getting rid of. They saying get out of here and sending them to third world countries, man. Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. They've got unrest and things going on over there like no other, eating mud cookies and all of that. And you trying to tell me that that's not a humanitarian reason for them to be living over here, already established, working, contributing to society, and you saying, oh, because your paperwork ain't up to date, oh, because you came over here the wrong way. Even though you're helping to contribute to quote unquote society in America, get out. 300 people. So, listen, man. Things have gotten bad to worse. Stay tuned for more. All praise, honor, and glory to the Most High while you're outside. It's your brother IQAhmath. I acquire first name. IQ is all the same. Tomorrow close the Sabbath class. Please tune in. You don't want to miss it. We're going to close out those 7 trumpets. Remember, finish off Revelation 9 and wrap that whole thing up so that we can kind of get a better understanding of how things are going to be playing out as time progresses and moves forward prophetically through the Spirit. Other than that, man, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High while you're outside. Always remember, fear the Most High. Keep the commandment. Don't shoot the messenger.